All right, so this next section is practice. So what I want you to do is attempt to do all the ones that go with these two examples. Pause the video and then check your work. Okay, so most of these are pretty straightforward. I'm trying to think if there was something that jumped out at me. Remember, these constants just mean you don't even have to do any math. So those make it pretty easy. All right, so then if you will look at the graph and do the same thing. So look at the graph and then try to do the numbers here along the side. So pause the video and come back. So these were, you just had to make a decision on whether to use the 4 that was here, or I'm sorry, not that one. Let's see, it was at the -2. So for the -2, you had to decide whether to use this or this. And remember, you're going to always choose the one that has a filled in circle. And then that happened again here at +1. You had to choose whether to do the one here or the one there, but it's going to be the filled in circle. All right, so now try to do the next picture and then pause your video and come back to it. This one, you had to make those same choices for -1, whether to use the filled in or not filled in, and it's going to be the filled in, so it's 3 tall. And then this one was kind of weird because there's a gap here, and then there's a filled in circle just, hanging in midair, and you are going to use the one that's hanging in midair. All right, so now turn the back is also practice. This is kind of a great equation talking about overtime. So if you will do the work on figuring out how much somebody would make if they worked 55 hours, because you get time and a half versus someone who worked 36. Okay, so pause the video, try to do those two, and then check your work. So the overtime person would get $750, and then the person that just worked 36 hours would get $432. All right. Then if you'll do the most difficult part on this practice page is graphing these from scratch. So if you'll try to graph this first one from scratch and then check your work and come back to it. Okay, so this one I did in pink and purple, green and pink. So the first one, x + 2, and you can kind of see where I just barely, I always graph the whole equation and then I erase back, but sometimes I'm not as fast as other people. So then you had to erase it back to the point where it was at -2. So you had this part below. And then you can see I erased this little upper pink part because this other graph took over at -2, and then even though it's going downward. All right, so try the same thing with this graph. Pause the video, see if you can get the picture, and then check your work. So I switched to purple and red on this one. And these, the graph changed at the 2. So you just had to determine which one got filled in and which one didn't get filled in. All right.